Alright, I am back to work with shipbreaking. Thank you for joining me. Thank you if you watch my previous videos, and welcome if you are watching one of my videos for the first time. I started doing these videos as sort of a one-off thing to answer specific questions asked by specific people, mostly on Reddit. And I just got a lot of very positive feedback and found that I enjoyed making the videos. So again, thank you, because you are motivating me to continue doing this, which is something that I quite enjoy. And the video I'm making today is still a response to a specific question. This is a question on my last video, the relatively safe ship depressurization video. A viewer, Golfwing, special thanks to you, asked a couple of questions for a couple of very specific but complicated situations. And this first one's actually a situation that I find myself in quite a bit as I'm rushing around. So it's going to be a couple scenario videos. I'm not going to go through a full ship breakdown. They're going to be very specific and hopefully a bit shorter than the last videos if I can manage that. The first one has to do with these levers, and I talked before about how you need to do that kind of right away. You don't want to forget about them, because if you forget to do that and then kill the power in the ship, you will no longer be able to purge the fuel and eject those thrusters, and those thrusters will be stuck on there. So Golfwing asked, what do you do about the reactor specifically if you do forget to eject those thrusters? So we're going to set that up, and I'm going to show you what to do. And just right off the bat, I was very tempted to tell him, restart the ship. Just don't even bother, because it's not easy. You'll likely lose some salvage. It really slows things down. But if you want to work through the ship without just giving yourself a mulligan and abandoning the ship, for one, I can respect that, and for two, there is a way to do it. It is just quite complicated. So let's go through it. I've just pulled the fuses. Now let's grab the battery here, and the ship is now without power. I can no longer toggle atmosphere. Many doors will no longer open. I think none of the doors now. In the open beta, some of the doors would open without power, but I think none of the doors open without power in the full release. And as you can see, I can no longer flush these. So there is still fuel in the pipes. You can see the indicator light, you can hear it, and you can see it on the systems tab of the scanner. So now what do I do? Well, let's set this up first with our escape route. So normally pulling the reactors is one of the last things I do, just because sequentially it makes more sense to do it later, when I would have already pulled this nanocarbon and started sending it back to the processor. But we're going to start by cutting away this nanocarbon in the back and giving me my escape route, just for, again, brevity reasons. Let's quickly get this done as fast as we possibly can. Try and get these pushed back. And if I was salvaging this, I would send these up in a way so that I could make sure they get to the processor. Since I'm not salvaging this, I'm going to send them straight back once I get to where I can get a tether on this back wall to pull these away. See, I kind of don't care where they go, as long as they're out of my way right now. So we'll send them straight back. All right. Now my next step, so I believe in the tutorial, I haven't actually done the tutorial, I skipped the tutorial for the full release, but if I remember right, in the tutorial for these reactors, it won't let you skip the tutorial. It's only for the class 1 reactors. So I did it, I just can't remember what it was. This will have to be a violent decompression, because again, there's no power. Hopefully there's nothing in there that'll explode. Alright, So we breached a pipe, which is not cool, but not the worst. And we lost some walls, which I don't care about. But you can pull this. I believe in the tutorial it tells you to pull this last and then do the power. But you can pull this and not cause a violent decompression. So we're going to pull this first, and we're also going to take one of these with us. Did I say violent decompression? I meant meltdown. So as you can see, the reactor's not melting down yet because I haven't disconnected the fuel. I've only disconnected the coolant and the power. And so that reactor should be at 2/3 health because I've taken 2 of the steps needed. Well, really just 1. You don't need to disconnect the power to give it any health. But look at that, it's at 2/3 health. Now, I brought this with me to actually test something out while I'm making this video. Something that I've never done before. But in the open beta of the game, they told you that you could spray coolant on the reactor to pause its meltdown, similar to how you spray the coolant on the fuel junctions to pause combustion when you're doing the engines on the tug style ships, things, tug stuff, tug thingy-majiggers, you know what I'm talking about. But I've never actually done it. I've never bothered to. Oh crap, what did I just do with my coolant canister? Is that you? That wasn't you, but I also accidentally just shot you with the grapple, so I'm glad that wasn't you. There you are. I've never actually done it, so let's test it out now. Let's crack this bad boy open and just spray it all up in this reactor. Is it even getting the reactor? It doesn't seem like it's doing anything, right? It doesn't even seem like it's getting the reactor. It doesn't seem like it does anything. Whatever. So we'll just leave that. I guess they might have taken that out, or maybe it never worked in the first place. I don't know. Alright, so we're going to have to do this without disconnecting those fuel lines. Because if I try and cut those fuel lines, then of course this whole thing will just explode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull apart these panels, and I'm going to straight up just cut this part of the ship away so that I can pull this reactor out the side. And I intentionally picked the salvage runner because its reactor is in kind of an awkward place. These fuel lines and this coolant pipe is right in front of it. On other styles of ship, especially like the Stargazer, you can kind of pull it up and away with these pipes still here. You can't do that with this. As you can see, it's like completely trapped in here. So I'm going to instead burn this away because I don't care about aluminum. You know, why am I burning this? I'm just going to cut this section out. Again, I'm not planning to salvage this. So this section is just going to go away. And hopefully it doesn't kill me to do this. Oh, I can't cut this. This is the stupid radiation containment thing. Alright, I'm going to pause the video real quick while I'll cut away this other side. But I'm going to pause the video so you guys don't have to sit here and watch me cut away a piece of the ship. And we'll be right back at this. And I'm back. So it took a bit of time. You know, I've been talking about stuff, getting distracted, and then I started cutting the wrong side. Of course, like I said, I would normally get to this kind of last, so most of this would already be gone. But I've cut away now this entire section of this ship. This entire cabin is going to the furnace right now. This gives me my escape route for my reactor. There's one kind of luck-based thing with this, and that is that as soon as this thing starts melting down, it's going to start arcing electricity, and we are going to very much just hope that it does not ignite this fuel pipe. And part of that hope is a healthy amount of precaution, which is being far away from all of that as we pull this out. And we'll go straight out the side. As you can see, immediately melting down, we send it down to the barge. It starts arcing. Thankfully, we did it in time. So there you go. We've successfully pulled the reactor while it is still connected to the fuel line. So now what do we do about the thrusters? I don't know. Let's see. I'm wondering that if I could have saved one of those coolant canisters and smashed it against this, if that would have worked. But probably not. That probably is only a feature on the tug because the tug has the specific cut points for these. These do not have that specific cut point attachment where you can cut it. So when I cut this, no matter where I cut this pipe, it'll immediately rupture. Can I remove this reactor plate? No, but oh, by doing that, I can move all 3 of the engines. We will just send this entire thing with all 3 engines attached to the barge. We will lose the fuel pipes. We will use the reactor plate. Those are not as valuable as all 3 of these engines. So if you find yourself in this situation where you cannot disconnect the engines, take the engines straight to the barge with everything attached. So there you go. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps you, Gulfwing. Thank you again for spurring me to make this video. We managed to get a little bit of experimentation done where I learned some things. And let's move on to the next one. Hey guys, so bit of an awkward situation. The second part of the question that was asked for me, that was going to be the second part of this video, was about the fuel tanks that spawn inside of the airlocks in the back half of some Javelins. I believe it was the Javelin heavy fuel tanker that had this issue. And I started looking for Javelin heavy fuel tankers and realized I couldn't find any. I couldn't find any that had that problem. They weren't spawning in. So I got kind of tired of trying to RNG find one that would spawn in for me. And I just started a whole new career. And I kind of did a speed run on an open career trying to get to that story mission where I know for a fact one spawned with a fuel tanker in front of the airlock. It does every single time. And I get to just about where I'm about to hit that mission, right when they're sending roads over. And then a thought occurs to me. Maybe when they did the last update, they fixed that. So I went and checked the patch notes, and sure enough, they fixed it. Right there in the patch notes for the last update, which doesn't show on the Steam store. It shows on their like news section. I mean, it is in the Steam store, but it only shows on the news section of it. It doesn't show it in the little update screen. In the update screen, it just talks about the vinyls that they're releasing. It does have the update talking about how objects on the Javelin will no longer block that rear airlock. So that situation actually solved itself. But that also left me with no more video for you. So I hope you've enjoyed looking at this picture of Darla while I explained away what would have been the second half of the video. Again, thank you for watching. I hope this has been a help to someone, and keep that positive feedback coming and I'll keep making videos. Thanks. Bye.